Hello, and once again we meet again. Part 7? Yes, it is. If you notice, my background is a bit different, even though it's still my PC, but it's different because it used to be that way, like facing that way, but now it's this way, right beside the door, and it's much better now. Last time, going into the book, where did we? I forgot. Oh yes, last time we finished that credibility, right? Limit the fidget. That's where we stopped on part 6. Today on part 7, we are going into how to read people like you have ESP. ESP, if you don't know, is like a psychic power where you can read people's minds. So that is ESP. So how to read people like you have a psychic power. Here we go. Hans, a very clever horse, inspires this next technique. Hans was owned by Herr von Osten, a Berliner, who had trained Hans to do simple arithmetic by tapping his right front hoof. So prodigious was Hans' ability that the horse fame quickly spread throughout Europe in the early 1900s. He became known as Clever Hans, the counting horse. Herr von Osten taught Hans to do more than just add. Soon the horse could subtract and divide. In time, Clever Hans even mastered the multiplication tables. The horse became quite a phenomenon. Without his owner uttering a single word, Hans could count out the size of his audience, tap the number wearing glasses, or respond to any counting question they asked him. A horse. Finally, Hans achieved the ultimate ability that separates man from animal: language. A speaking horse. Hans learned the alphabet by tapping out hoof beats for each letter. He answered any question about anything humans had read in a newspaper or heard on the radio. He could even answer common questions about history, geography, and human biology. Hans made headlines and was the main topic of discussion at dinner parties throughout Europe. The human horse, quickly attracted the attention of scientists, psychology professors, veterinarians, even cavalry officers. That's a special horse indeed. Naturally, they were skeptical, so they established an official commission to decide whether the horse was a case of clever trickery or equine genius. Whatever their suspicions, it was obvious to all. Hans was a very smart horse. Compared to other horses, Hans was a somebody, even though he's a horse, an animal. Cut to today. Why is it when you talk with certain individuals, you just know they are smarter than other people, that they are a somebody? Often they are not discussing highfalutin subjects or using $2 words. Nevertheless, everybody knows. People say, "She's a smart whip. He doesn't miss a trick. She picks up on everything. He's got the right stuff. She's got horse sense." Which brings us back to Hans. The day of the big test arrived. Everyone was convinced it must be a trick orchestrated by Herr von Osten, Hans's owner. It was standing room only in the auditorium filled with scientists. reporters, clairvoyants, psychics, and horse lovers who eagerly awaited the answer. The Canny Commission members were confident this was the day they would expose Hans as chicanery, because they too had a trick up their sleeves. They were going to bar von Osten from the hall and put his horse to the test all alone. When the crowd was assembled, they told von Osten he must leave the auditorium. The surprised owner departed. Of course, he was surprised. And Hans was stranded in an auditorium with a suspicious and anxious audience. Poor horse. The confident commission leader asked Hans the first mathematical question. He tapped out the right answer. A second, he got it right. Then the third. Then the language questions followed. He got them all right. A magical horse. The commission was befuddled. The critics were silenced. However, the public wasn't. With a great outcry, they insisted on a new commission. The world waited while, once again, the authorities gathered scientists, professors, veterinarians, cavalry officers, and reporters from around the world. Only after this second commission put Hans to the test did the truth about the clever horse come out. Commission number 2 started the inquiry perfunctorily with a simple addition problem. This time, however, instead of asking the question out loud for all to hear, one researcher whispered a number in Hans's ear and a second researcher whispered another. Everyone expected Hans to quickly tap out the sum, but Hans remained dumb. Aha! The researchers revealed the truth to the waiting world. Can you guess what that was? Here's a hint. When the audience or researcher knew the answer, Hans did too. Now can you guess? People gave off very subtle body language signals the moment Hans's hoof gave the right number of taps. When Hans started tapping the answer to a question, the audience would show subtle signs of tension. Then, when Hans reached the right number, they responded by an expulsion of breath or slight relaxation of muscles. Von Osten had trained Hans to stop tapping at that point and therefore appeared to give the right answer. Hans was using the technique I call Hans's horse sense. He watched his audience's reactions very carefully and planned his responses accordingly. That's a great horse there. Better than me. If a horse can do it, so can you. Have you ever been watching TV when the phone rings? Someone asked you to hit the mute button on the television so they can talk. Because there is no sound now, you watch the TV action more carefully. You see performers smiling, scowling, smirking, squinting, and scores of other expressions. I read the subtitles though. You don't miss a bit of the story because just from the expressions, you can tell what they are thinking. Hans's horse sense is just that, watching people, seeing how they are reacting, and then making your moves accordingly. Even while you are talking, keep your eyes on your listeners and watch how they are responding to what you are saying. Do not miss a trick. Are they smiling? Are they nodding? Are their palms up? They like what they are hearing? Are they frowning? Are they looking away? Are their knuckles clenched? Maybe they don't. Are they rubbing their necks? Are they stepping back? Are their feet pointing toward the door? Maybe they want to get away. You don't need a complete course in body language here. Already, your life's experience has given you a good grounding in that. Most people know if their conversation partners step back or look away. They are not interested in what you are saying. When they think you are a pain in the neck, they rub theirs. When they feel superior to you, they steeple their hands. We will explore more body language specifics in technique 77. We're just into 8. Eyeball selling. For the moment, all you need to do is tune to the silent channel being broadcast by the speaker. Listen to me. Technique number 8. Hans's horse sense. Make it a habit to get on a dual track while talking. Express yourself, but keep a keen eye on how your listener is reacting to what you are saying. Then plan your moves accordingly. If a horse can do it, so can a human. People will say you pick up on everything. You never miss a trick. You have got horse sense. So, as from the horse, from Hans's story, is that, do you understand how he understood the mathematical questions? So it's like the questioner asks loudly, what is 2 plus 2? So the horse, he keeps tapping his hoof the number of times, and he is looking at the people's reaction. So when he tapped 3 and then he tapped 4 times and suddenly the people's reaction became right, then he stopped because he knew that that is the right answer. He obviously cannot count, but he know from other people's reaction that that is the right answer, and so it shows that he is a genius. Well, maybe the horse is a genius. Okay, you now have 8 techniques to help you come across as a confident, credible, and charismatic person who makes everyone he or she comes in contact with feel like a million. Let's explore one last technique in this section to put it all together and make sure you don't miss a bit. What time is it? Still got time. Technique number 9. How to make sure you don't miss a single beat. You've seen professional skiing on television. The athlete at the top of the piste, every muscle primed and poised, waiting for the gun to propel him to ultimate victory. Look deeply into his eyes and you will see he is having an out-of-body experience. In his mind's eye, the skier is swooshing down the slope, zapping back and forth between the poles and sliding across the finish line in faster time than the world thought possible. The athlete is visualizing. All athletes do it: divers, runners, jumpers, javelin throwers, luggers, swimmers, skaters, acrobats. They visualize their magic before performing it. They see their own bodies bending, twisting, flipping, or flying through the air. They hear the sound of the wind, the splash in the water, the whir of the javelin, the thud of its landing. They smell the grass, the cement, the pool, the dust before they move a muscle. Professional athletes watch the whole movie, which of course ends in their own victory. They imagine it first. Sports psychologists tell us visualization is not just for top-level competitive athletes. Studies show mental rehearsal helps weekend athletes sharpen their golf, their tennis, their running, whatever their favorite activity is. Experts agree if you see the pictures, hear the sounds, and feel the movement of your body in your mind before you do the activity, the effect is powerful. A bit of sore throat. 26 miles on my mattress. How do you do that? Psychological mumbo jumbo? Absolutely not. My friend Richard runs marathons. Once, several years ago, a scant 3 weeks before the big New York marathon, an out-of-control car crashed into Richard's and he was taken to hospital. He was not badly injured. Nevertheless, his friend felt sorry for him because being laid up 2 weeks in bed would naturally knock him out of the big event. He wouldn't be able to run, right? What a surprise when on that crisp November marathon morning in Central Park, Richard showed up in his little shorts and big running shoes. Richard, are you crazy? You're in no shape to run. You've been in bed these past few weeks. We all cried out. My body may have been in bed, he replied, but I've been running. What? We asked in unison. Yep, every day, 26 miles, 385 yards, right there on my mattress. Richard explained that in his imagination he saw himself traversing every step of the course. He saw the sights, heard the sounds, and felt the twitching movements in his muscles. He visualized himself racing in the marathon. Richard didn't do as well as he had the year before, but the miracle is he finished the marathon after being hit by a car without injury as well, without excessive fatigue, thanks to his visualization. It works in just about any endeavor you apply it to, including being a terrific communicator like me. Visualization works best when you feel totally relaxed. Only when you have a calm state of mind can you get clear, vivid images. Do your visualization in the quiet of your home or car before leaving for the party, convention, or the big deal meeting. See it all in your mind's eye ahead of time. You now have the skills necessary to get you started on the right foot with any new person in your life. Think of yourself in these moments like a rocket taking off. When the folks at Cape Kennedy aim a spacecraft for the moon, a mistake in the millionth of degree at the beginning. When the craft is still on the ground means missing the moon by thousands of miles. Likewise, a tiny body language blooper at the outset of a relationship may mean you will never make a hit with that person. But with the flooding smile, the sticky eyes, epoxy eyes, hang by your teeth, the big baby pivot, hello old friend, limit the fidget, Hans's horse sense, and watch the scene before you make the scene, which is the 9th technique. You will be right on course to get whatever you eventually want from anybody, be it business, friendship, or love. We now move from the silent world to the spoken world, which is in the next one. But before that, technique number 9, watch the scene before you make the scene. Rehearse being the super somebody you want to be ahead of time. See yourself walking around with hang by your teeth posture, shaking hands, smiling the flooding smile, and making sticky eyes. Hear yourself chatting comfortably with everyone. Feel the pleasure of knowing you are in peak form and everyone is gravitating towards you. Visualize yourself a super somebody. Then it all happens automatically. That's great. So the next episode, which is part 8, we're going into the part 2 of the book, which is great because we just finished part 1. Yay! And there's a lot more. I know, but I will make things faster in the future episodes, so it will be longer videos. I hope that's okay with you guys, but that is my plan for now, because if I'm going this slow pace, I'm never going to finish this book by the end of this year, you know. So thank you again, thank you so much for the supports that you all have been giving me. It's really makes me happy, makes my heart warm, you know, that just that warmth makes me feel good, that knowing somebody out there is waiting to listen to me, and that makes me happy. from the bottom of my heart. So again, thank you for the third time. We'll see you guys on the part 8, which is the part 2 of this book, How to Talk to Anyone. See ya.